I saw other people do it themselves and be successful. So I thought, oh, well, I can do that. I could draw a straight line. Like, it didn't seem that difficult.
This is necrosis. It is a filler complication. My heart goes out to this girl. From what I know, it did get better, but it took a long time.
This is why it is so incredibly important to have somebody that's a professional and not just like your girlfriend that took a 2-day filler course. The only reason it ever felt non-invasive was the marketing. A few months ago, we talked about botched plastic surgeries, but today I want to zoom in on one specific lane that people still treat like it's harmless. Injectables. Not full-on mommy makeovers, not facelifts, but simply fillers. The lunch break tweak, the just a little plump, the no big deal. Except it is a big deal. Fillers can blind you. They can completely rot the tissue on your face. Illegal butt filler can literally affect and impact your breathing. People have literally died. And a huge part of the risks come from exactly what makes filler so incredibly popular. Speed, access, and the illusion that it's not actually surgery. Kind of feels low stakes until it isn't.
I think that in a couple of years, we're gonna look back and think of filler the same way we think of tanning beds or excessive tanning in the sun, because the more we learn about filler, the more we learn about how much it migrates, how it doesn't really dissolve every 6 months to 1 year like we're told, the more we're going to realize that this is not as benign of a product as how it's been marketed to women for years and years.
It is way more dangerous, and everyone always goes to the med spa and they're like, girl, you're kind of struggling with like some plumpness in your lips and your cheeks. We'll just fill it up. Let's just fill it up and then we'll fill it up some more. Respectfully, I've never seen someone show their before and after of their filler and thought it looked good. Amen. One time I went to the skincare clinic where I go and I get my skincare products, and the first thing that they told me when I was like, hey, like I kind of feel like I'm kind of aging a little here. Like, do you guys got lasers? You guys got retinol? What do you got? Like, we doing tretinoin? And she was like, filler, should we book now? No. I haven't had lip filler in 3 years and my lips still look different than before. You don't go back to the same when it dissolves. It forever changes your face and you are actually risking your life. Filler never looks good in person. Amen. It's literally just for Instagram. Now, I'm not here to scare you for clicks. I'm here because the industry has spent 10 years calling these tweaks non-invasive, and that word has made everyone sloppy. Injectors, clients, and all of the platforms that consistently glam them up. Let's be very clear about what's actually happening when this needle goes into your face or your body, what can go catastrophically wrong, and why the culture surrounding fillers is what is making the worst case scenario even more likely. So you better buckle up, besties, prepare yourselves for impact, and absolutely never get fillers. Let's just start it with that. And if you guys haven't already, make sure that you guys are subscribed down below, and if you are subscribed, I love you so much. Mwah. Unfilled lip kiss.
You know what I'm noticing more than anything on Love Island is how unfortunate it is that Gen Z was so seduced by facial filler. Please don't let any old surgeon give you filler in your face. I really think that's something that you should think about a lot. Spend as much time researching the person who's going to do your filler as you would somebody who's going to do your nose job. Don't let any person at any med spa do it. Make sure there's a very thoughtful consult and be so sparing with it. Because what I notice more on Love Island than anything is how clockable it is. Almost every single girl on the show has some kind of lip filler done. And to me, I mean, I live in Ohio, so I'm just not used to that beauty standard. If your filler is clockable, you look weird. If I can tell that you have it, you have too much. And there's just so much contrast between the boys and the girls on the show, because the boys always look great and natural for their age. They just look like normal, attractive people. But I feel like the girls just look so much more plastic surgery than attractive to me. Like, all I see is just plastic.
At the end of the day, when you do any large procedure, it is something that is booked months, sometimes over a year in advance. If you are going to somebody that is a big professional, anybody that's like a big time in the league where you're from, they're going to have a long list of patients that are waiting to get their surgery done before you. The fact that you can go in, and I could literally go to my skin spa right now and go and get as much lip filler as I want, that is where the problem lies. I knew we were cooked when 22-year-olds said Botox and filler are preventative. Preventing what? You still look like a fetus. Also, people will say, I'm doing it for myself. But the reality is you're upholding an internalized beauty standard or insecurity. It's like, you wouldn't want to put weird gels in your face with a needle if you didn't see everyone else doing it, or as if it was this popularized thing everyone else was doing. When we say filler, most people mean HA or hyaluronic acid filler. Brands like Juvederm, because it is completely dissolvable using something called hyaluronidase. There's also this, also known as Radiesse, polyl-lactic acid known as Sculptra, PMMA Bellafill, and then the Wild West. And I'm in the West, I'm the most West, the Wild West. Liquid silicone and mystery gels that are sold in hotel rooms and people's basements. That last category is obviously not approved for cosmetic contouring, and US regulators literally warn you that it can migrate, inflame your tissue, and kill you.
Why will most reputable clinics and academies not offer bum filler? One major risk is pulmonary embolism. If the filler enters the gluteal veins and travels to the lungs, it can cause blockages, making it hard to breathe and potentially damaging the lungs or other organs. Another severe complication is sepsis. This is a 70% risk, which can develop from an infection leading to a widespread inflammation in the body. If the filler reaches the brain, it can result in a stroke. Or if it travels to the heart, it may trigger a heart attack.
300 mils liquid BBL. Guys, I'm just putting juice in my butt. Like, I'm just putting a little bit of juice in my butt, putting wetness in my butt. Stop putting stuff in your butt. What are they even talking about? Liquid BBL injections. Am I crazy? Are they crazy? Let me just do a quick reality check of all of the words that you guys have been seeing online. When somebody says BBL injections, they often mean illegal silicone or hydrogel that is injected into your butt. A true BBL is a surgical fat transfer from other places in your body that goes then into your bottom, and that can only occur in the operating room. Different procedures, different risks, and still very dangerous if either of them are done poorly. The fat transfer surgery route has been singled out by plastic surgery task forces as having a uniquely high death rate due to fat embolism when performed unsafely. That's why the entire field had to issue safety advisories and even change technique.
Guys, just in case anyone was wondering how my life is going, I got bum filler.
If anyone out there is considering getting filler in their bum, which is a terrible idea by the way, then you really need to go and watch that video. That creator was talking about how she got filler in her bum. She ended up getting an abscess and some sort of necrosis, had to go for surgery. They had to cut away lots of tissue that had died. You can actually die from it, and it's not regulated. You know, in the UK it's a bit of a free-for-all when it comes to fillers these days, so whoever's doing it for you, ask them who they are, what's their training, what's their experience, what fillers are they using, who are they insured with. Ask the important questions before you go and get it done, but not a good idea to get it done in your bum or your boobs, by the way, which seems to be a big thing as well now.
But this video is not about every single operation under the sun. It's about injectables, face and body, and why it's just filler truly hides a ton of risk. The idea of filler causing blindness sounds very dramatic until you understand what's actually happening when you're getting filler. Your face is filled with tons of arteries that literally connect to the ophthalmic artery that feeds your eye. Filler gets into a facial vessel under pressure. It can travel backward, then forwards into the eye's circulation. Now the retina isn't getting any blood, which is actually terrifying. Doctors call it retinal artery occlusion, and once that tissue dies, it simply can't come back.
You know, I saw other people do it themselves and be successful, so I thought, oh, well, I can do that. You know, I could draw a straight line around my lips. I can, you know, do a little bit here and a little bit here. Like, it didn't seem that difficult.
We should be thanking this person for coming forward with their story and showing what goes wrong when you buy filler on the black market. You have no idea what's in it, it's expired, and you do it yourself. Remember, putting filler in is not difficult. It's really not hard to stick your thumb on a plunger and push. But it's extremely easy to buy fake filler online. You have no idea what's in it. It doesn't matter what the box looks like. It's like buying your skincare on Amazon. You have no idea what you're gonna get, except in this case, you're injecting it into your face. But sear this image into your head. Recognizing when there's a problem is where the medical training comes in. And we can actually reverse this. There have been cases of filler blindness that have been reversed. But if you're at home doing this yourself, not only will you not be able to recognize it unless obviously you go blind, but you can't reverse it.
Why are we playing with our vision? Like, why? I literally already have to wear the thickest glasses in the world. I don't want to go blind, thanks. Also, you're taking DIY a little too seriously. There is no such thing as DIY injectables. It makes me angry. Listen, I won't even DIY my own gel nails to avoid/reduce the chance of getting an allergy. I will absolutely not inject myself with anything. I live by that. No way.
Permanently lost my vision in my left eye. after a skin treatment in Korea.
I'm so sorry that this happened to her. Unfortunately, injecting anywhere around the eyes always carries some sort of risk. What she had specifically injected is called Jubilook filler. It's actually a hybrid of PDLLA and hyaluronic acid. Branch retinal artery occlusion is basically an eye stroke, leading to complete permanent vision loss and blindness in parts of your vision. Permanent vision loss can start 90 minutes after the blockage happens.
Without getting into anything too deep, my boyfriend lost vision in one of his eyes last November, and you don't understand how debilitating it really is. Like, you actually, I don't know if there is anything, no beauty treatment that could possibly be worth your health and your vision. And I think people don't realize that this is such a possibility and that this can happen to literally anybody. His is nothing to do with filler, let me just clarify that. But if you're like, oh, there's all these risks, but I still want to be hot, you have to take it so seriously, because this could happen to anybody that is playing around with fillers in their face around their eyes. There have been hundreds of cases reported worldwide, with the nose, glabella, which is between the brows, forehead, and nasolabial area being the usual danger zones because of their arterial connections. In many cases, you guys, vision loss is permanent. Hyaluronic acid is, yes, reversible, I guess, but not in the retinal artery. Hyaluronidase can help if you catch an area early and flood it as soon as you possibly can. But once the embolus is in the ophthalmic circulation, dissolving it fast enough is often impossible. That's why real injectors obsess over cannulas versus needles, aspiration, tiny aliquots, slow planes, and a deep respect for anatomy. None of this is sexy on TikTok, obviously, so the algorithm just doesn't show that part. And there's more, because a lot of people can end up looking like zombies after botched filler work. Miss a vessel and you might injure the blood supply to a patch of skin. Hours later, the area turns dusky. Days later, it can ulcerate. That's necrosis. Actual dead skin on your face that you can't hide. Other patients end up with late nodules or granulomas, which are angry lumps that can actually show up months after your first injection, especially with longer lasting products, or when bacteria starts to hitch a ride and create biofilms.
This is necrosis. It is a filler complication. My heart goes out to this girl. From what I know, it did get better, but it took a long time. It's when you get filler of any kind caught into or stuck in an artery. It blocks blood flow. With blood, you have oxygen. Oxygen carries that blood to the tissues, and if you don't get oxygen to tissues, what happens? Your body will decompose. You'll notice scabbing.
This is why it is so incredibly important to have somebody that's a professional, and not just like your girlfriend that took a 2-day filler course, like an actual professional, one that you are spending a lot of money on. If you can't afford it, put the money that you have that you were gonna try and save up and maybe do some black market filler, go and put it into something that is actually meaningful to you. Go buy a nice book, buy a nice pair of shoes, do something else with it, because if you can't afford to buy real fillers from real professional injectors, this is a consequence. This is not just something that happens to the random person. It happens to a lot of people.
Hi, Dr. May here. Let's talk about one of the most dreaded complications in nasal filler and how it happened to me. Here you can see my nasal tip. This is about 30 minutes after being injected with a hyaluronic acid filler by an experienced injector. You can see this lacy reticular pattern going up my nose, which is a sign of venous congestion. The congestion and compromise to the blood supply to my nasal tip progressed, and you can see my whole tip started turning a purplish color. This is a sign of impending necrosis and a sign that you need to get your filler reversed. This is another angle showing congestion and impending necrosis with poor blood supply to my nose.
This is a perfect example of what can happen when you even go to an educated injector, somebody that is a professional, because everything is so complex in your face. No matter what you're doing, you're always still taking a risk. Now, biofilms aren't regular infections. They're slimy communities of bacteria protected by a matrix, and they can be stubborn to treat even with dissolver and antibiotics. This is why sterile technique, product choices, and the right injector actually matters. It's also why filler parties, hotel room deals, or mail order syringes are just not cute. And the it'll dissolve on its own myth really depends on the filler and the dose. Overfilled lips can migrate above the border and live there for years. Tear trough filler can cast a blue tint under bright lights. Cheek filler that looked snatched at 26 can end up looking really puffy at 32, because of course facial fat pads do distend while the facial filler stays put. Now let's talk a little bit about body injectables, because is that is, I think, where the worst case scenarios truly come up. When you see headlines about women dying after butt shots, the story is actually unlicensed providers injecting liquid silicone or mystery gels into the buttocks, sometimes mixed with oils or other nonsense. Those droplets can embolize, travel through the blood vessels, and make their way to the lungs, causing catastrophic respiratory failure.
A personal video on this topic because unfortunately a mum of 5 has passed away due to having had bum filler last week, and sadly she's passed away at the age of 33, leaving behind 5 children. It's absolutely heartbreaking, and I cannot get over the fact that this industry, aesthetics, is the way that it is, and how people are not being held accountable.
I wasn't lying last year when I said that people are risking their lives and dying for this ridiculous beauty standard. A woman of 5? This is sickening. This makes me sick. Like she said, leaving behind 5 kids because some horrible person injected her bum with fillers. Why? To fill in her hip dips? Is it really worth it? My heart goes out to the children, but I can't understand why people can't accept the way that they are. Everyone is beautiful the way that they are. Rest in peace. I honestly feel so horrible because everyone has been there. Everyone has wished that they looked a little bit different. Everybody wishes that they could take a little bit more time for themselves, especially moms who work so hard, who work all day long to provide for their children and stay up late. They make breakfast, they take care of us, they do everything. And for her to want to put some time in or do something nice for herself and then to actually die from it is awful. It is so awful.
I've had hundreds of DMs, so I just thought I'd do a little vid. I mean, I don't have anything to say that I didn't already say in series 1 of Price of Perfection, and I'm talking in regards to this young woman that's died having the BBL filler. As loads of you messaged me, we did cover a story in series 1 of Price of Perfection. Luckily, thank God, the girl that had the treatment was fine, but we spoke with experts and we discussed the risk of this procedure, how fucking dangerous it is. And if you've had it and nothing's gone wrong, it's not because it's safe, it's because you got lucky.
You can't just bet on luck. When it comes to your life and your body, I'm sorry, I just don't understand it. I will never understand why people do these things. It terrifies me that anyone can just do a course and become an injector. In the UK, you literally can do a 2-day course and then you can start pumping stuff into people's bodies without even knowing anatomy. It's insane. Case reports in medical journals describe this as silicone embolism syndrome, acute shortness of breath, low oxygen, and then collapse. Some patients just don't survive. The US FDA has publicly warned for years, do not use injectable silicone for body contouring. They name the buttocks specifically and list the outcomes: chronic pain, disfigurement, and death. If someone is actually offering it, they're doing it outside the law or outside of any standard of reasonable care. Full stop. On paper, the solution seems easy. Go to a qualified medical professional with deep anatomy training, use approved products, and have a real emergency plan. In the real world, the culture around fillers is what makes people so reckless. First problem is speed. Filler is marketed as a drop-in service. Lunchtime lips, glow up before my new event. That just compresses decision making. You don't research providers the same way that you would research a surgeon because this doesn't feel like surgery. You scroll, you DM, and then you book. Second problem is access. Unlike an OR, injections happen at med spas, pop-ups, apartments, and sometimes even dental offices. Bad actors hide in plain sight because the setting doesn't look scary, and the price actually feels approachable, unlike a lot of other real surgeries. If you've seen enough before and afters in your feed, it barely even seems like a medical act anymore. Third problem is language. Non-invasive is technically true because there are no incisions, but it is invasive enough to enter a blood vessel and blind you. This word has softened everyone's guard, so it almost starts to feel like this is as simple as going and getting a mani-pedi. It's actually so concerning to me how normalized filler is becoming, especially for women in their 20s. That is permanent body modification. You are improving features that aren't even fully developed yet. Your face still has so much changing to do. Clearly, it will not age well. And chin filler, nose filler, jaw filler? Are we serious? What happened to embracing natural, unique features? Have fun being a copy-paste of everyone else on IG IG and having pillow face in 5 to 10 years. Makes me so sad how many beautiful women feel like they need to partake in these beauty standards. I'm sure that women in your family are sad to see you lose their features. I've been saying this for so long. Way too long. I'm done. I'm getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of talking about it because it should end now. Once you stretch your skin and you put something in there, you never look the same. You can dissolve as much as you want, but you can look at all of the different actors, the different social media influencers who have gone through their big dissolving phase. They never look the same. Hollywood and influencer culture often make this a lot worse because they run on echo chambers and yes people. If a face sells out a product, that face gets protected, maintained, tweaked, and the team keeps saying it looks amazing. When everyone around you has work, you stop seeing what's a bit much. The reference photo in your head starts to shift. Then there's also the branding trap. If your audience fell in love with you for your angelic, smooth under eyes or your incredibly inflated lips, you start to believe that that is your value. Now, skipping maintenance feels like you're losing out on the thing that is paying your bills. So you repeat, you add, you stack, you turn out like Kylie Jenner in her pillow face era because her fillers are what made her career. You move from hyaluronic acid to longer lasting fillers because you're tired of dissolving every year. You start to fill for the camera and not for your real life. That's why you see these pillow face people and they look so incredibly distorted when you see them on the street. You say that you're aging gracefully, but the photos clearly say you're not. Plus, TikTok and Instagram made injectables start to feel like it was skincare. Why? Because you can go and get SkinCeuticals at the same place you can plump up your lips? It's the perfect ad without actually looking like an ad. It also collapses your risk perception. If your For You page shows 50 smooth lip flips and 0 vascular occlusions, your brain begins to normalize it, and you think that filler maintenance should be added to your monthly beauty expenses.
Cheek filler needs to be banned from celebrities. I'm so sick of this. I don't know what's going on, but like this is what a normal cheekbone looks like from the side. And then she went and did this. This is Starlight from The Boys, and she was so beautiful, and she still is, but like why did she touch her face? Who is convincing these celebrities that they need to do this? It's literally making them look worse. I don't.
Selena Gomez? Selena Gomez? Lael, it's her autoimmune disease. I don't think so. Call me a conspiracist. I think that's a lie. I think it's cheek filler. Let's be so for real. It's so ironic to me that all of these fillers just make people look older when they're probably trying to look younger. Every single time. I don't know what it is. When you don't have anything in your face, I instantly think you're 14. Like, and that's just coming from me, but like, I'm being serious. I don't know what it is about filler, but it seems to age people 10 years when they get it. And do you want to be old, girl? Do you want to be old, almost die, and go blind? Because I don't. Even worse, certain platforms will literally have you shopping around for different injectors based completely off of vibes and not actual credentials. If the comments say queen and the clinic looks really pretty and aesthetic, you book and you don't think twice. In a different world, you would have asked about their license, their training, their emergency protocol. What happens when you get necrosis in your nose? Are they going to help you? In this world, you're asking them which filter they used in the before and after. Like, oh, what made her lips so snatched? Is that Natasha Denona? Now, what about the entire idea of, but my friend did filler and she's fine. My mom has filler and she's perfect. I mean, lots of people are fine. Plenty of careful, good injectors do great conservative work every single day. That still doesn't erase the base rate risk. It also doesn't erase the outliers that you'll never see because they're too busy trying to fix the problem at hand. Very few people are filming when they get necrosis or go blind. They're mourning the fact that they lost their eye. If you want the cleanest snapshot of the real risk, don't ask Instagram or social media. Ask the FDA and the medical journals. Sure, it's not fun and flashy and hot, but it's real. Regulators warn that filler accidentally injected into a vessel can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, or permanent tissue death. It's also the economics. Cheap product and cut rate injectors exist because someone pays them. When you race to the bottom on price, the risk climbs. And if you step off the approved path like silicone or mystery gels, the risk isn't climbing, it is jumping. The FDA is not vague here. They use words like serious injury and death. You have to be careful no matter what and go to trusted healthcare professionals instead of jumping to the quickest or cheapest option. Because in these situations, guess who gets hurt the most? It's not the A-list, it is the general population that want better jawlines for photos. Dancers who want a small tweak for the role, new moms that want to look less tired, women who saved up for months after working the job they hate for just one treat. They're the ones that are most likely to be lured in by a discount, a pop-up, or a provider with gorgeous marketing and very little training. They're also the least likely to lawyer up when something actually goes wrong. wrong. And when it does go wrong, the internet is very cruel. The same platforms that pushed you to treat yourself will be the ones that clown you for swelling, migration, or a bad outcome. The empathy gap is huge. Now, there is nothing non-invasive about a needle pushing a substance into your living tissue. This living tissue has tons of arteries and nerves, and it helps you stay alive. It helps you live your day-to-day life. The only reason it ever felt non-invasive was the marketing. And then what happens when the marketing is really good? You buy. Do not let the vibe trick you, because there is no vibe when you lose your vision or you die. None of this was ever said to shame anybody that's had work done. As you guys know, I don't really do that. It's mostly just a way to make sure you guys are aware of what's really happening out there. I say these things and make these kind of videos so that fewer people have to learn the hard way, and that sometimes just a little is actually a little too much. Please stay safe, ask very hard questions even if you don't want to. And if a stranger with a syringe is saying it's just filler, you have to understand what that sentence is really trying to hide. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please throw a big fat thumbs up and also comment down below. Have you guys ever gotten fillers before? Is this something you've ever ventured into, or are you too terrified? Are you scared of the pillow face? I would absolutely love to hear your opinions down below. I have still never done filler. I've never done a Botox. I know some of you guys all think that I have Botox, but I would not be able to hit these good facial expressions if I had, girl. If you enjoyed today's video, you can watch my deep dive Love Island recent pop-off video where I talk all about how bad fillers are. This poor girl absolutely destroyed her face with fillers and then lied to everybody and says that she had an allergic reaction. Get real. Or you guys can watch my original deep dive on how fillers are absolutely life-threatening. Be very, very careful when you're getting fillers, and I only make these videos because I truly want to help you guys be very careful no matter where you're going so that you know what to look for. You guys know I love you, and I only make these videos because I truly want the best for you. I hope you have an amazing day or night or whenever you're watching, and I will see you very soon.